Well, hey there. It's been a hot minute, hasn't it? Hello, and as you can tell from the title of this video, this is a new Turtle Talks. Now, if you are watching the video of this, you might be a bit surprised because we actually have a form of content going on the screen, which is Power Wash Simulator. But don't worry, I'm going to try my best not to mention anything that is going on the screen, and this is just me testing out something. So as you can tell, I've not been interrupted and I've not introduced anyone. This, unless something happens, is a solo turtle talk. Now I am a little nervous because I did actually start a party, so who's to say someone could come on and I may have to scrap this entire thing. But yes, as I've said, this is a Turtle Talk, and as you will also note by the title, we've got a few changes coming in. I've marked this down as Season 2 because I kind of want to start a little fresh with Turtle Talks. Now, trust me, don't worry, this isn't me completely abolishing all the old recordings, they still exist and will eventually get done, I think. There's definitely one or two I've made thumbnails for that I want to make, but I think that's part of the reason why Turtle Talks just kind of went into oblivion, and it's very much yeah, it is. It's very, I almost said kind of. It is very much my own fault. I was making so many Turtle Talks at such a rate that I kind of didn't get I feel I may have burnt myself out in Turtle Talks, but let's just wind back a little. And where did we go? So, and I haven't really checked this, but ages ago, maybe 6 months now, has been the last time since I uploaded a Turtle Talk. And believe me, the gaps have been far and few between. So, what happened? Well, part of the reason or excuse is that I got busy. Now, I was busy when I was making Turtle Talks to begin with. Hell, I was doing college and my dissertation. But I guess priorities. So, as it stands, there are about maybe 11, 12, possibly 13 episodes of Turtle Talks on the channel. I think it's 13, but I'm not sure. So, what happened then? Well, I made a whole bunch with all, like, some of them with all members, so, of the boys clan, so, Cyber, David, Hoover. I think I even did a second solo episode of Hoover that I enjoyed very much, but it just never made it to the light of day. So, what happened? Well, and I will confess, this isn't the first time this isn't the first time I've attempted making this solo turtle talk. I've done it before, and I just wasn't happy with the way I was saying things. I felt I was a little bit kind of. It just wasn't right. I felt like I didn't really practice what I said. And hell, I'll confess, this is very spontaneous, and I'm gonna do what I always do. And unless something bizarre happens, this is just going straight to upload. And that's one of the things I will confess, and Cyberprime knows this a lot, and this is probably one of the reasons why his editor, Eddie, despises me. I'm not big on editing. It's not that I have a problem with it, I think it's just very much a lazy thing. I want to record a video and hit upload instantly, which probably isn't ideal, and there is so much, especially with the way that I talk and communicate, that I've noticed even sending voice notes as opposed to messages, I could send a 2 minute voice note that, if I had thought about what I was going to say, could be trimmed down to maybe a 30-second voice note. But oh well. See, that's the thing. I kind of lose the flow, and there's a pause in the conversation, and that has been said so many times, and there's just this lingering pause. But anyway, so that was one of the things that I always used to do in Turtle Talks. The other thing, and I was looking at the old episode slightly. Now I know people will go back and look at the old episodes, something that I can't do right at this minute, but they'll go and be like, oh, well, this episode was this long. I kind of liked it when they were short, so, and I'm not 100% sure if I did, but, shout out to Cyberprime, a really big shout out to him, actually. Not that the other boys haven't done amazing stuff, they have, but I must just use this platform to congratulate Cyberprime on hitting the landmark of it is a landmark of 500 subscribers. It's definitely. I mean, again, compared to me, he has worked so hard. He has put a lot of effort into his videos, something that I just cannot do. Cyber's just like, yeah, I don't be well. Anyway, he has an amazing year of content. But yes, that is probably he is also the you can thank him for bringing Turtle Talks back. If it wasn't for him constantly kind of like, hey, where's Turtle Talks? Who knows? This might be another series added to the list of dead series I've had on the channel. So, he has also gone as far as to doing a whole episode on the other podcast that I'm a part of. Now I'm not in charge of because otherwise we probably would have hit like 20 podcasts and it would have been dead in the water. We did a whole episode discussing Turtle Talk and it kind of devolved a little bit into me peeking behind the curtains of just how it happened. So in trying to make these videos, I'm jumping over so many points so quickly, but in trying to make even this one video, first one I wasn't happy with, second episode I was quite happy with, and even went as far as beginning to upload it until I noticed my microphone was muted for the whole time. So yeah, that was fun. But anyway, there's so many points, and I hope this is cohesive and understanding, but let's just try and make it have some form of sense. So, how I'd originally make a Turtle Talk. I would record a video with Hoover, Cyber, David, or all of them, and then while making the video, I usually, not in a rude way, hopefully, I'd write down an idea of something in the conversation that really stuck out and I'd make the thumbnail. Or the idea for the thumbnail, so to speak. While re-listening to it for just checking for kind of little things, I would then draw the thumbnail. Now, this is kind of the two things that kind of put me off doing it in the first. Yeah, a little bit. Kind of put me off doing Turtle Talks. I was slowly kind of running out of ideas for the thumbnails. And I did feel like this is why this is probably going up so quickly, because the thing that slowed me down the most was that it could take maybe a couple days to do the thumbnail. And it did also get to a point where some looked very slapdash, and that was the thing, but I also kind of knew, like, okay, that's a trick I can't get away with forever. So I have some thumbnails already made for future episodes, and I do want to upload some of those past episodes. I don't know if all of them. It's no offense to the content, but the other thing was the length. Again, we live in a society now where everyone's attention span is probably super small, so if you made it to this point in the Turtle Talk, you deserve a golden coin. But I quite enjoyed, even for podcasts, unless it's something that has a really good written out structure, I quite like 30-minute quick little podcasts. Sorry. And I know even the boys in the pod is that way, but I do feel we're superior and, But that's the thing. It is topic based. I feel like a topic based podcast can afford to do that kind of longer structure. But Turtle Talks clue in the name, and I did feel also that I was kind of getting away from what I wanted Turtle Talks to be. I always wanted Turtle Talks to be a conversation. And then I was kind of putting topics into it. I didn't know. I kind of partly got confused with what I wanted my own series to be. And then, of course, the final nail in Turtle Talk's coffin. So it was a mix of the thumbnails I was being a real perfectionist about. Some of the episodes were a little bit on the long side. And that's the other thing. It came to a point where I had, I think, almost 10 episodes worth of content to be edited. And it just, I don't know, I kept staring at it, and it was like this giant pile of stuff. And my brain was just like, no, I don't want to start that. I don't even know where half the footage is right. And then it was also a case of somewhere in parts, I will genuinely confess, there are probably episodes that are so long to time. So episodes could be in part for we fubbed up saying a line or something just had to be edited out. 9 times out of 10, that is probably Turtle Guy. And then it's just like little things like maybe someone's phone goes off or like someone again, you can tell Title Talks is not edited because there's a load of times where I will just shout "vamp" to the other person and go help them. They do try their best, and it does lead to some funny stuff. I must say, yes, just "vamp" viewer. How do? Oh no, I can't. It's a solo episode, but yeah. So I think the thing that put me off the most is that I couldn't just the idea of even editing together two like clips was annoying me. The other thing that was putting me off, and again, who knows, Cyber has offered on occasion, along with Dave Kivo, and yes, you know what, they've offered. Let me just send it all to Hoover. Hoover, edit Turtle Talks. The other thing was just oh, what was the other? I have been offered so many times, like Cyber has offered himself. I don't think Eddie would to edit Turtle Talks, and who knows? Maybe I'll do it that way. I think I will listen to them myself, and I will kind of be like, right, this one is in good shape, and then the rest may be lost time. So, with that in mind, am I a liar? Will Turtle Talks actually return? Yes, I do. There are some episodes that I have done that are really good. Now, I will confess, in terms of ideas, I don't have much. But again, I didn't. For anything with a topic, you should probably not be looking to Turtle Talks. If you want something, a more topic conversation, go looking at The Boys on the Pod. And that is another thing I mentioned on one of my various versions that haven't seen the light of day, is that Tire Talks happened. Then Tire Talks kind of, not that we lost interest, I think we were trying to get other things in place. I think we were setting up the other podcast at the time, and that kind of went away. And it was the kind of case where, like, I don't know, Tire Talks just went away. Turtle Talks then kind of reemerged shortly after Tired Talks took its permanent hiatus. And then Turtle Talks was kind of, there was maybe a few weeks where Turtle Talks and The Boys in the Pod shared, like, came out with similar, like, shared a time slot almost. Like, they both come out on Fridays, I think maybe 2 weeks. And then at that point, I stopped uploading them because I kind of stopped editing them. And I think it was just a little bit of burnout because I seemed like I had so many episodes to edit and make thumbnails for. I just was like, I don't want to. And I had so many thumbnails half made, and some are really good. And then, like, I'm looking at one here right now that, like, I have one thumbnail that is ready, and all it needs to be done is, like, scanned on my printer, because that's how I made the thumbnails. Scanned and just put up onto, like, whatever, and then boom, just add the audio, and there you go. Another thing is that my computer at times was like not hindering me, but the software that I used, again, editing, would just not cooperate. It'd be just like, oh, well, you want to make this a file? Okay. Oh, it would just randomly close down. Now, again, who knows? I see part of the reason. Now, again, people are like, okay, but you had an offer of people to help edit them for you. Listen, I don't know. I am the kind of guy, if someone says, oh, do you need a hand? I'll probably go like, no. If it is a case of I do get someone to assist me, I'd also maybe be like, okay, yes, you can edit this video, but also show me how. I don't constantly want you to do it for me. I want to try and learn my best to do it. Ooh, this is the bit where Turtle Talks gets very saucy because I'm going to reveal something about myself. I don't know how to tie my shoelaces, which is a little bit of an embarrassing thing to say. But why did that happen? Well, I tried learning, but I just couldn't get it through because I don't know, my brain just couldn't do it. And I can tie a shoelace on a shoe that isn't in a foot, basically. Like, if you just handed me a shoe, I could probably get away with doing it. But I don't know. And it was just a case of like, and that's the thing. I was shown it by people, but not taught it by people. I was just like, oh yeah, that's how you do it. And I'm just like, no, I don't I I will confess, if I knuckled down and someone either showed me right, that isn't to say the people that have taught me it haven't. It's just a case of, oh gosh, now I've really ran into a conundrum there. But I think it is like anything. Like, I will possibly save this more so for a future Turtle Talk, but like, it is a case of like, in my current kind of new side gig, I've been like, we have mentoring, and I've gone to every mentor session. Now, I don't know if it's ever like some of the things we're being mentored in, if I'll ever use or if I'll ever do them. But now that I kind of know them, I can either assist someone, or when it is a case of maybe I have to do the job, then I will have a better understanding. I feel really nervous and self-conscious now that I've given away the fact that I don't properly know how to tie my shoelaces. I can kind of fub it, I can kind of get away with it, but most of the time I'm just like to a professional shoelace tire. Um, Tie it in such a way that I can just slip in and out of them. Which is probably not a good way to treat your shoes, but yeah. And again, it's just a case of I don't know. My brain just struggle. I'm curious. Is there this? I don't know. Am I a select few? Am I in the just? Am I one of like 1,000 people that just can't tie their shoes? That was a weird tangent, but yeah. So, short version. If it was a case of I don't know. The other thing that is probably hindering me is the fact that I'm a stingy old miser that will not buy editing software. I think it is such a handy thing. If I had the correct editing software, we'd be done in minutes. But oh well. Uh, so yeah, I don't know. Every time I do this, I kind of not run out of steam, but I'm a little bit like, oh, okay, where to go from here? So, is this done? Yeah, I'm sorry just again for the dead silence, but yeah. So how would I do it? I definitely think I'd bring it back to its roots, to its kind of shorter to its very much shorter structure. And it's kind of less topic based, just more of a conversation, and just kind of see where the conversation kind of brings us. Like those real generic type podcasts. How Remember, Turtle Guy, don't commentate about the gameplay. This was merely just a way of keeping you fucking entertained while you tried to do content, you dumbass. Ah, that's the second time this week I've called myself a dumbass. But I think at this point is probably where I'm gonna potentially call it a day. I will see you in the next Turtle Talk, and I will wrap it up there. No fancy goodbyes.